I just wanted to say off the bat,
Yeah.
working on the record with you those years ago, one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
you killed it.
Oh, hell yeah. I also made this.
Made what? You about to bust out a cake? What's that? There you go. Tier maker. Wow. Oh, this is your tier maker? Is this yours?
Yeah, I made
that's how you gauge them?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, my tier is way different than this. Wait, so these are like how many numbers they get? What has it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so 10 of 10 is like a perfect one? Okay, I see.
It's
wow.
1 to 10, yeah.
Dude, see this one? That's a sleeper. I put that up there. I had to listen to it recently because I had to remake the vinyl, and I was like, damn, I actually really like this one. It's up there. It's up there with my favorites, but this is interesting list. Nice.
Yeah. I have a...
Oh, are you going to like put it on the screen? Cut away, put it on the screen?
Yeah. I have some notes too.
Yeah.
So you can go back and fix them.
Wow. Yeah, this is my tier list would be very different.
What would yours look like?
Mine would have soft spot up there. Maybe soft spot. Yeah, up there, but I would put whatever makes you happy, and it is up there as well. And the rest of them are kind of my 3 favorite are those. Whatever makes you happy, it is, and soft spot. And then I would say Heals Me, then Velvet, then Ply, then Priscilla. Oh wait, I forgot Blue Album. Well, Blue Album would maybe be, I don't know, between Velvet and Blue, I don't know which one I like more. I would maybe pick Velvet because it was a little more recent, so but I don't know. I would maybe put them the same. But yeah, interesting. Tier maker. Okay, that's a good idea. Should have people put their tiers of my albums. It'd be interesting to see. This is a very interesting tier. It's kind of sick. Do I get to keep that? I want to show it to Drew.
I'll text you the link.
That's amazing.
Because Drew's doing the managing?
Yeah, Drew and Justin now. I don't know if you met Justin.
No, I don't know.
No, yeah, but yeah, Drew and Justin. Yeah, tag teaming. They're killing it.
I think the lyrics on it is, I don't, just like the, that's why it ended up down low.
You don't like them?
I don't know. I don't like when it gets too Ebonicsy.
Ebonicsy?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Ebonicsy. That's another crazy word.
Yeah, that's a spicy word.
Yeah.
I feel like the lyrics got better at whatever makes you happy, and then they continued to stay better.
Nice. Beautiful.
I don't know if that's.
I mean, I hope it gets better every single time.
To the point where, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I try to make it better every time. But yeah, better's it's a word that, it's like giving awards. What is it called when you can't really gauge it? It's
ambiguous.
Based on the listener, based on who's taking it in. Like it's
subjective. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's totally stupid. It's a stupid thing to do.
No. It's amazing. But I just say like, it's awesome because I mean it's fun to do that shit. I mean that's what we do because we care about music and stuff, and we rate stuff on how it makes us feel and what we like and all those things. But I'm just saying, like me saying, oh, I've been trying to get better at these things. Better is very subjective, even for me trying to get better at it. You know, what I think is better might not even be what anybody else thinks. But you saying that, I'm like, oh, good. So it's at least it's working for somebody that it's getting better. Oh, that's my goal, is to make the lyrics better. And
who am I to say?
You're here and we're talking, you know. But believe me, it's not going to. Anybody who tells me anything, you know, I didn't get this far by listening to people telling me shit. You know what I mean? It's gonna in one ear and out the other. But it's interesting to take in. You know what I mean? And I found that, you know, one quality that I'm so thankful that I have is, like, you know, taking people's opinions on my stuff, not personally, you know, like it's a very thing. It's a thing that I'm so glad that I'm blessed with, because if I took everybody's opinion, what I do is, like, if somebody says they don't like something, I'm like, it's almost a opposite for me. If somebody says they don't like something, I'm like, oh, that must be something to this. This must be good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, it's making you feel something so much that you're telling me that you don't like it. Mm. You know, if indifference is what you don't want. If somebody doesn't like something, then you're like, oh, this is getting.
That's true.
You know what I mean? This is making them feel something, even if it's a hate or a dislike. It's making them feel something. So that I like that. That means more to me than somebody telling me they like something, because liking something, saying you like something is cordial too. So they could just be lying. You know what I mean? But when somebody goes out of their way to tell you they don't like something, then it's like, oh, that's a real emotion. Like, they're not lying. They're not saying that just to put me down.
Yeah.
They're saying that because they feel that. And I'm like,
it's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, in some cultures, it's like considered a pretty serious thing to give someone a compliment.
Yeah.
You know, like you compliment someone's coat, they got to give it to you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a tricky thing. Ethical.
I feel like now we just, it's like throwaway, you know, it's just like formality compliments.
Right.
Like, oh, that was
no,
good.
You don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's very interesting, but yeah, lyrically, you know, always trying to get better, always trying to get more concise as well. Like, do more with less, you know, convey my points with less words. I mean, before I had this on the wall, I had a chalkboard, and I always kept the word concise written on the board, so I would know, like, trim the fat. What's the point you're trying to make, and how can you make it with less words?
Right.
You know? So they're more impactful, each word you use. And if I've got better at that, then awesome. That's my goal, is to get better at being concise with what I say.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of art, I think, works that way. I think concision. Yeah. Aesthetics is like a value judgment. Mm-hmm. So like aesthetics, like art, music, mm-hmm. it's related to ethics. Mm-hmm. And not to get too annoyingly heady, but like it's related to ethics, but it's a value judgment. Mm-hmm. So I feel like when you're creating, you're making lots of little decisions.
Yeah.
And so the trick is like, to be concise with those decisions and like deliberate.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
For sure. Yeah. And not try. Also, a thing that I've learned how to do is like not try to hide a decision. If you're going for it, go for it all the way. Like don't like half. Right. Like, oh, I'm going to tuck it in the background. Like, no. If you're going to do it, just go for it. You know, if you're going to say this thing, you say it all the way, you know?
Is it like this, like the second verse on the, is it Not For You, or?
Yeah.
Where it's like very Kurt Cobain-y.
Yeah, where I'm kind of screaming a little bit. Yeah.
Totally outside, unexpected.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved that too, because my voice was breaking in a spot where it wasn't even hitting the right notes, but it like worked somehow, you know, and those are the things that I love to keep, because it's like it works, it's emotion, it's outside of like technicality, It's true, raw emotions, because you're not even like hitting the right notes. You're not worried about it because it's about a feeling. And I love when you catch that type of stuff. It's amazing to me. That's all I want to catch is the emotion of it. Which is another reason why I don't like to dress up my vocals a lot. A lot of my vocals are super dry and raw because I want it to be like, real. And if there is a lot of words, like I really got to make every word count within that to justify the reasoning to me that I put that many words in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can't just be like, oh, I was trying to fill this rhythm. It's like, no, there was a reason why I, went this way and made it more wordy here and then less wordy here. And, it's just every word I want to count.
Do you like Julian Casablancas?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I like the Strokes.
I heard him say like it has to be like on the one hand, this has to sound good, like aesthetically.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I guess would mean like rhyming and syllables, and then it also has to mean something to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like for some reason that as like a criteria and stuck in my head, like
yeah,
it has to sound good, which is just kind of whatever you'll just know, you don't know.
Well, yeah, like when writing songs, and I've wrote songs with other people for like their stuff and whatever. I've had so many sessions, but like you'll be in there and you'll have this great line idea, and it's like, oh my God, that's such a good line, and then it's like, does it sing well though? That's always the thing. It's like, oh, that line's so good. Oh, here, try it. See if it sings well. Yeah. And they're like, oh, no, but it doesn't sing well. It
doesn't work, yeah.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, it needed to be that O is so much better when you sing the O or the E or the I,
Yeah,
you just know, yeah.
People, they'll do like...
So you can't force it in there just because it's a good line. It has to sing well as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just start like doing random vowels.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you just like sort of makes something that makes sense out of just like a bunch of random noises, vowel noises.
Yeah, I mean
like
that's a way a lot of people do it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. The mumble, and
then
they call it
the mumble.
Yeah, the mumble, sure. And then you're like, I feel like right there I was kind of saying this. I keep hearing this.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's kind of where music gets kind of it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is ridiculous. I mean, music is just, it's wild to, I was saying this again the other day. It's like, it's such a ridiculous concept of like sitting there and recording, singing, and like, it's this thing that's like, we kind of make it tangible by doing physical products and stuff, but like, it's not a tangible thing. It's in the air. It's like a communication. It's such a weird concept that we can record these like noises and sounds together and send out a message.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's just a message.
Yeah, I think Tom Waits or somebody was like, it's just a really interesting thing to do with air.
Yeah, it's crazy frequency and like, yeah, it's so trippy. It's like literally like. If I get on my phone and just record a voice note, when people do the talk to text, it's this, same thing. It's just a bigger, more like in-depth version of of a type to text. It's like, what are you trying to say?
You mean that like you're taking speech and something that's like maybe kind of diffuse and
it doesn't even have to be
language,
even if it like because like Sigur Rós, like he's not saying anything, but it's still communicating something.
I'm pretty sure Bach didn't say much.
Exactly. Like it's not even that it's speech. It's just that I'm saying like the type to text, like it's that audio communication.
Yeah.
Like we're communicating through these sounds. It's such a crazy concept.
Yeah.
Like dolphins underwater, like communicating their stuff. And I mean, music has been innovating for a long time. It's crazy how far we've come from your Beethovens to now. I mean, Beethoven wasn't, from your first recordings, Beethoven's wasn't even recorded music. But just in recorded music, from the first recordings that we're starting, the innovation that we've made from then, you know what I mean? It's just strides and strides, and it keeps morphing into other things.
I like to lean on toward that things don't change. Like there's not a fallacy of progress where like, oh, just because it's 100 years later or just because it's now that it's any better or different.
Mm-hmm.
That like we knew everything we already know right now.
What do you mean?
For 2,500 years. I mean, like you're saying, oh, recording is a new medium, right? It's only like 100 years old or 120.
Isn't that crazy?
And
so recent.
Yeah. So it's changed a lot. And so technically there has been innovation, but then on the other hand, we don't know anything more about music or art than we did when Plato wrote about it, or Homer, or anyone else.
Yeah. But I guess I'm just talking about the not even technical advancements. I think that just growth within like what, because it's culture gauging, and like it just says a lot about where we are in the world, and like so many different things. Like if it was just staying the same, it would just be a gauge of like that society is not growing. You get what I'm saying? Like, like it's just a gauge of we're growing as a society and going in different directions and finding different ways to do stuff. Of course there's technological innovations, but there's still people that, aren't even using most of these things, but we're still having different thoughts and ideas and different ways of doing stuff and making a song and all of those things. You know what I mean? If we were just making a Beethoven piano thing, then, I'd be worried. I'd be, man, are we just living in a prison? Like, so I think it's gauges that, free society, free ideas, free, I think it's a good thing that we're growing and we continue to grow. And that's, I mean, as a musician, that's like my main goal is to push it forward, not sit and get stagnant. And, a lot of people, they want to copy what's working, you know what I mean? But there has to be people who are outliers who push past that, or else we're going to get stuck in that whole thing of like making the same thing, and it becomes a purgatory. And I feel like all of society gets in a prison that way. I think music has a lot to do with, society as a whole. It says a lot about what's going on. And if we're sitting here making trap music for 20 years instead of 10, that's a bad sign. That means we're stuck, So I think that, but the 10-year thing is it's pretty much always switched over though, like your 80s, 90s, 2000s, So it's worked so far. I guess I'm just saying is that like we don't want to stay in that style.
Yeah.
We have to progress in that way too. We're always going to have the platform and the stories are always going to change. I think the way that it's presented has to change too. Because because that's part of the communication too, is that it's new. If it isn't presented as a new idea, then it's just like, oh, I've heard this idea before. It's the same old story. Like, I don't need to, you know what I mean? Character comes with, oh, this is a new idea. I've never thought about it in this way. You know what I mean?
Do you think that a lack of innovation in that sense comes from imitation?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. They're trying to imitate what's, most of the time it feels like, and this is not everybody, but most of the time it feels like they're trying to imitate what is successful because they're more focused on being successful than making something that, satisfies them, or it's a very weird game that musicians play or people who call themselves musicians, or artists play, of like wanting to be accepted and thinking, oh, this is what I have to do to be accepted, versus just doing something because you have to do it, because you have to communicate it, because you have to do it for yourself, and you're trying to, a bigger purpose, I guess, or something like that. But yeah, imitation is and there is service for imitation. Like, that's how we all learn to be who we are. We're a product of our influences. You know what I mean? We imitate whoever, I imitated Jimi Hendrix until I learned how to play guitar. And I'm not Jimi Hendrix, and when I play guitar, it doesn't sound anything like Jimi Hendrix, but I was imitating him just to learn, because I wanted to take aspects of what I liked about him. And then, later I found Pink Floyd, and I wanted to take him and mimic his guitar playing and all of these things to make it my own. I'm a regurgitation of all these things to make me.
An appropriation.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call it, it's imitation for sure. But there's a difference between that versus making imitation your voice, imitating somebody else when it's not genuinely you. It's just I feel like when we're young is kind of when we're imitating and taking it all in and learning. And then there's a point where you get to a certain point and maybe you don't know who you are, but there's a point where you get to where you're like, okay, I want to do this, and I know better than to imitate what's working because I'm trying to make it successful, versus when I was younger, taking stuff and imitating it because I fucking loved it. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between the two.
Yeah.
Like, imitating something because you're like, oh, that worked. I can do that. I know how to do that. And that'll make, oh, he's got they got 10 million plays. Oh, shit. I should do that. That's going to work. It's like, no, but that's not you. You're not doing it because you love it.
Right.
You're doing it because you want plays. That's a recipe for trash art.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It has to
be genuine. People aren't stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like people underestimate listeners. Like, they think that they're stupid, and like, I've on my new album, I was like starting songs with a lot of bass lines and making melodies based off that, and the chord progressions aren't there. They're kind of just insinuated. And the idea was like, I feel like listeners are smarter than we give them credit for. Like, they're going to understand the progression. It's there. It's like a phantom progression in there. I don't have to spoon feed them the chords. They know what chords are supposed to be there, or they might hear them a little different or make their own type based on the melody. Like, again, they're smarter than what they get credit for. I feel like listeners.
Okay. I see. I thought you meant that the listener is smarter than you give them credit for, meaning you're not going to be able to get away with.
Yeah, no, I mean that too, for sure, 100%. Yeah, that's how I originally, the idea. But then I and another degree also of like, it's the same reason why like people like resolves and stuff that they feel like they knew it was coming, because it's like they're finishing the sentence. Yeah. And they're like, if you we all have a little bit of that in us of like, oh, that feels right, and that's why I like it. You know what I mean? Or if something feels wrong, you're like, that's why I like it, because it feels wrong. It feels like they shouldn't have done that.
Right.
But as far as like genuinity, they're definitely like, you're not going to get by just being, I mean, you can for a little bit. Anybody can do anything. But, I just feel like it's not the recipe for a lasting anything, really. I mean, it could be, who knows? You can do whatever you want. People have done it before, following trends and shit.
Well, one would hope for more.
Yeah, for sure.
You start to notice that people that have philosophy brain, they'll say normal words, but it sounds like they're speaking normal words, but they know that those words actually have like a long historical meaning, And so you'll notice that they don't say certain things, but on the surface, you're just talking to like a regular person, and you could get away with doing that. But then if you push a little, it becomes very clear who knows what they're doing and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So like you said, people are smart.
Yeah.
And I think like for music, you could reach a much wider audience in that respect because people are innately attuned already to music. Like in the sense that the harmonic, whatever the harmonic relationships or the groove or whatever is doing to your brain, everyone's locked in. Like that's down here.
The drug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing to think about, this like the authenticity and especially the imitation part.
Yeah. Imitation is always going to be part of it, but it's just, it's just a weird, it's not black and white, there's a lot of gray area when it comes to imitation.
A lot of people would say that art is imitation, that music is imitation.
I mean, that's like I said, you're a product of your influences. You're taking, it's all a product of stuff you've heard before. Nothing new is being created, technically, but it is new.
But it converges on something new.
Yeah.
Aside from this window dressing, aside from, oh, your drums are trap drums, or oh, this recording, or this type of paint or whatever.
Yeah. Every good artist goes through phases, and the window dressing is different. I mean, Beyonce doing a country album, stuff like that. That's Michael Jackson when he was doing the black or white with the beat it with the guitar a little heavy, and like that's always going to change. But yeah, you're right. The character, the genuine character, like Michael Jackson wasn't trying to copy something that was currently happening. I mean, Beyonce might be, but so those are two different examples. Yep. But he was being him in a different way, So it's imitation is a lot of gray area to do with that, and the window dressing does change. But as long as you're being genuine with it, like if you really like what's currently going on, and you don't want to push it forward, you just I love this shit, and I'm gonna make it because I love it. Yeah. Then I feel like that translates, and that's why there are a bunch of artists. There's like 100 artists making the same type of music, probably because they genuinely like that type of music, and they're not trying to just take advantage of a trend, So it's, again, a lot of gray area. But
how do you deal with all that gray area?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't worry about that. I'm trying to not be influenced by current pop culture, because I feel like my job as an artist, I've set for myself, is to try to push it forward. Try to do something different than what's currently going on in the pop culture.
Yeah. Well, do you think that music or art is like divinely inspired?
Like it's from God? Is that what you mean?
Or gods, or whatever you believe.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like it's in the air, and you just, like, I don't think that we are responsible for what we're putting down. I think it's sent to us for sure. Yeah, it's coming through us, and we can either decide to write it down or record it, or we can just let it pass, but it's a message that's being sent. I don't think it's like, from us, because I feel like aren't we just vessels for everything in life? We're just consuming.
Not if you're, well, it depends what you mean. I mean, if you're like a materialist, then
no, I mean, just we're consuming ideas, we're consuming energy, we're consuming vibrations.
I see.
We're taking in. We're the antennas up, and stuff is being sent to us constantly, and we we sift through it of what we want to let in and what we take in and put out. You know what I mean? And artistic wise, I feel like it's in the air, and we have the antennas up, and we decide, oh, you know what, I like, that's a good idea. I wanna put that into action. You know? So we're constantly taking shit in all the time.
Would you say that?
Aren't we all talking to ourselves in our head all the time about everything?
Oh, it won't stop.
Yeah, exactly. Is that not? I mean, that's the example right there. It's just constantly going on, and that's to do with music too. You know, like rhythm, music, painting, whatever. Like, you know, and you have your antenna up for whatever that thing that we're all tuned into is.
That was too broad of a question, honestly.
Well, I don't even remember what the question was anymore.
Well, if it's like, if music is a
it's divinely. Thing, yeah.
It's a famous question.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did I answer it? Shit, I don't even realize if I answered it. I think I said yes, right?
But you kind of gave like a lukewarm yes.
No, it is yes for me, because like God for me is that thing. That's God. That's God. That thing that connects us all, that we all know is there, but we can't explain it, and nobody's ever gonna be able to explain it or understand it. It doesn't live in space and time. It's it's this thing that we all argue and try to personify who it is, like it's a person or something. And I just feel it's there, and we all know it's there, and it's, you can either be in tune or not.
That's an interesting way of describing that.
Yeah, that's just what I think. I mean, yeah, not telling everybody that this is the way it is. Never want to do that.
Does that album title "It Is" have anything to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything.
In Hebrew, that the word for Yahweh means it.
Like to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just is. Yeah. Yeah. It just being. It's funny that until recently, I just realized that a human being means you're a human.
Yeah,
just,
that's right.
Just being.
Yeah. In Greek, it's
crazy.
In Greek, it's chon.
Yeah, that tripped me out so much. I was like, wow, that's crazy that I never read it like that and realized what that meant. You're just being. That's what we're all doing. We're being.
So I think that you would like Plato. I think you would like some.
Really? If I liked to read?
Yeah, if you like to read that.
Man, I can't. I have such a hard time reading. Like, it takes me so long to read something, because when I read it, I have to like understand it. Like, otherwise I'll skim, and then I'll get to the end of the page and I'll be like, oh wait, I don't even know what I read. I was just like reciting the words. Like, I have to go slow to like actually like take it in, and I just don't have the bandwidth. The people love to use that word now too. Yeah, I'm not a reader, unfortunately.
Then that thing that you wrote for Complex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit, that was hard to write too.
Really?
It felt like homework.
Yeah.
And I just had to. It's hard for me to do a lot of things like outside of music, because they feel like chores. Even like promoting music and stuff like that. It's hard. I gotta be like, in the mood. And so, like, to get in the mood to write that, I feel like it took me a couple weeks, just because I was putting it off. It felt like fucking schoolwork.
Yeah.
It's funny, because when I first wrote it, I had I just went off on a tangent. The whole first paragraph was about how I didn't want to write it. And I was like just going off, and then I got done, and I was like, maybe I should take the first paragraph out. But yeah, because it was aggressively like, I feel like I'm doing homework, and I got into music because I don't want to do fucking homework. And but I think it helped me get in the writing mode, and just have it start flowing. But yeah, once I started getting into the actual ideas, then yeah, it was a little easier. And then I just edited, like I edit songs. Like, again, being concise. I was like, do I need this in here to get my point across? No, I'll take that out. How do I make it more concise of what I'm trying to say? So,
Yeah.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to read it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the best reader and I'm not the smartest person. So when if people can explain it to me in a way that I understand is the way that I would want to explain it to somebody else. Because it's, again, it's just simplest terms. Because I don't feel like you need a bunch of window dressing to explain anything. It just can be concise and to the point, So that's how I try to write. And when people start getting over-explaining and using big words, I'm like, I'm lost. I'm just slow. It needs to be very just
right
to the point.
That's a lot of what you see in school.
Yeah.
Is like people just get into these meaningless corners of scholarship, and you just get so into the weeds.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do what you're describing.
Yeah. That's why not everybody can be a good writer, right? Yeah.
But
if you're just on a rant, going nowhere.
Yeah, it's more of a
which I can do. I can do that too. I can go on a rant for sure.
Well, I think it's a type of confusion about the difference between the art and the person, and maybe something kind of callow and naive about, conflating art with life in a way that's just not accurate. Like people maybe haven't had enough experience.
I feel the whole made it thing, I think also is a lot to do with, as human beings, we're all insecure in one way or another, and we all want to be accepted. And a common way that people feel like they can be accepted is with success, outward success, other people thinking that something's good or giving them something, or instead of internal, like getting the validation through yourself, you seek outward validation, and a lot of people do it. We all do it at times. Even I do it at times, try to seek outward validation. Not when it comes to my music so much, but, in different things. And we all do that in one way or another. It's just, when it controls what you make, I feel like is not a recipe for something good, for me at least. Letting that control what you do is not the recipe for success. But my recipe for success is not like everybody else's. And as you saw, a success for me is in the making of it. So if they want to go chase whatever else to find some outward validation, you're going to just be chasing it forever. And nobody's going to give you what you can't give yourself. You have to give yourself that validation. That's where it comes from. And you're going to broadcast that outward to everybody else, and that's what everybody wants. They want to give themselves the validation. But we get scared, and we need people to tell us that it's good, and and buy tickets to a show and support us and all of those things. It's a tough thing to do. But I feel like you gotta, do it for yourself, and that will in turn give you that outward success, you could call it. Right. Because that's really what we all want, is to not be a slave to thinking what everybody thinks of us and if we're successful or not, or if we made it, or if we're good enough. You know, we all just want to be good enough and be accepted, right?
It sounds psychological. Like, well, you want meaning.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, meanings. I mean, meanings.
You know what
everything.
I mean? Like you want what
That's
you're doing
everything.
to be meaningful somehow.
Yeah.
So like then people are, you know.
Yeah, and they gauge that with oh, the more money I make, that means I'm you know, it's meaningful.
Is it related to introversion? You think?
What do you mean? What's that?
Like, the reason I ask that is because whenever I have to deliver something, you know, that, I mean, it's a pretty serious thing to put your name, have your name attached to something, right? I mean,
you have like, people making tier lists.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scary thing.
It is, yeah.
And we're all human. We're all gonna get scared, and we're like, well, what if nobody likes this? And you know what I mean? But then when you think about it, you're like, no, that's not even a possibility that nobody likes it because I like it. If I like it, I'm a fucking critic. Right. You know what I mean? Like if I don't like something, like I'm my own worst critic. And if I liked it enough to fucking put it out, it'll be fine. Everybody don't need to like it. The right people will like it, and that's the people who understand the message that I'm putting out with it, you know, and that it's genuine, and the people that need it. And the people that don't, maybe they'll find it later when they do need it. You know, it's out forever. I say that all the time. Like that shit is out forever. And I hope that it does well while I'm here, just so I can, you know, enjoy the fruits of my labor, but it might not. You know what I mean? It might happen later when I'm not even here, but it's out forever. And people are going to do with it what they do, and it's not mine anymore. You know, it's theirs. It was mine when I was making it, and that was the joy that I got out of it. I mean, there's no better joy than when I'm first making a song and I'm listening to it. I'm like, this is sick. This is sick. That's the fucking drug right there. And then after that, I'm like, oh God, I got to finish it. Okay. When can you come over and play bass? Can you come play guitar? I need strings on this part. I need to, this snare wasn't right. Can you play the drums again? Oh shit, I got to do these vocals here on this part. And then, oh, you know what? I should get somebody else to sing that. It's like a whole process, and then it's not fun anymore. And then by the time you're like, shit, is this even good anymore? And that's when you're like, okay, it's done. And you have to trust that the person who was before that was like, this is fucking amazing. That's where it came from. That's where it came from. And then and you know, just believe that guy was right, because if you impressed him because he was a first time listener, you know, when I'm making the thing for the first time, that's the only time it's going to be new to me. After that, after the 1,000th time, I'm just like listening to it over and over again. I'm like, this fucking sucks. You can beat any song into the ground, but that first time when you're a new listener is the only time. That's why it's so nice, because, you know, you never get that experience again, ever. It's done. Yeah, that's the drug right there.
I mean, it's a pretty high stakes game to know that it's forever. Mm-hmm. And then you rely a lot on your ability to trust what you're hearing that first time.
Yeah, for sure.
To be able to make those decisions.
Yeah. I think what makes it high stakes too. Decisions. Yeah, exactly. What makes it high stakes too is the drama of time, that we're not going to be here forever. So we only have a certain amount of time to say what we came to say, and contribute what we need to contribute to everything, and communicate what we need to communicate, and then we're done. We're on to the next thing, whatever that is. But time makes it very, you know, high stakes, at least for me. I'm also drama though. I'm super drama about it. It's always a high stakes situation. Like, you know, I think that makes for good music and good movies, and like, I need stakes. If I start watching a movie and there's no stakes and I'm not invested in any of the characters, I'm like, why the fuck do I care if they jump off a building? I don't know this person. There's no stakes here. There's no stakes. I need stakes. High stakes. Time. It's running out. For me, at least. That's how I treat it. I gotta stop. Or do I? I don't know. I feel like it makes me work harder that I feel like it's running out. You know? Because also, the thing of like it being sent to me, I'm like, what happens if it just stops being sent? And I never make a song again.
Right. That was one thing I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? Like, yeah. What do you, if you like
a writer's block?
Well, not just that, but a fear of a writer's block.
Yeah. Fear of a writer's block just makes me keep writing while I can.
Like, oh God, there's like
lyric, so many things that are lighting the fire under my ass. And they're all like, they're like ridiculous things, like, irrational fears. So far they've been, but, they keep me going. Like the fear of the ideas running out, the fear of like, dying and that time running out literally and on this plane, there's lots of that. Or the fear of, that I just, I don't know, lose my voice or say, who knows? Well, I could still, I guess if you cut off my limbs, I wouldn't be able to make shit. Maybe I could blow into something.
Yeah, time, huh? And change.
Time and change, yeah. Changing is impermanence, it's called. And it's part of life. A big part of life is impermanence. Nothing is permanent. It's constantly changing. And accepting that is hard.
How far along is the new record? Is it done?
Yeah.
How many songs you got?
10.
How many is this now? 9 studio records?
Studio records, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will be the 9th. Yeah, wow. Crazy.
Okay. I'll have to tier that one.
Oh, that's gonna be on the top one. That's my 10 of 10 album for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't say that lightly. This is the one album that what I was trying to do, I feel like I finally accomplished, is the one album that other artists that I love have had where it's so good that you won't even like the rest of my stuff. You won't listen to the rest of my stuff anymore. You will. This is where it starts. You know what I mean? Like when Radiohead came out with In Rainbows, I can't even listen to their old stuff. You know what I mean? It's one of those records that like it's just that wasn't even them. This is what it is. Or when Brand New came out with Devil and Angels, I'm like I don't have to go back to other stuff ever again. This is it. We've started. We're here.
So it doesn't fit in. Wouldn't categorize it in with a previous 2 or 3. This is its own.
It's its own
new
thing.
Category.
Yeah, new category. I feel like I've started something. That's why I'm doing the residencies like here in LA and New York, because I'm treating it like I'm a new artist. Because I feel like this is like brand new for me. I finally figured out who I am, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know. It just feels natural. And I love playing.
So is it just by virtue of having this like, your musical fiefdom where you're the king that you haven't like done? I don't know. I feel like there's a bunch of like annoying like mainstream things that you don't do.
Like what?
I don't know, just like collaborations or something. I don't pay that much attention to music, to be honest with you, as much as I did. But like,
yeah,
I don't know, like certain collaborations or it's things that probably I don't even know if you say no to them or they just don't come up.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to understand the question. I'm not actively saying no to stuff that it's just there is a what is the word for it? Maybe a glass ceiling that I haven't broke through, and not to play the victim, but there are certain relationships that I don't have, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing or whatever. It just is what it is, and that's part of my journey, is not having, the relationships to get some of the stuff that I would, get in different circumstances as an independent artist versus somebody who's not independent. But that's fine. That's the road that I chose to do, and so my path's a lot different than, somebody else's.
Yeah.
And even independent now has become a different word now. It's like I have to call myself DIY, not independent, because everybody's independent now. They're independent just means something different now.
Nice checking in on you after all these years.
Yeah. She's fine. Okay. She just wants to say hi. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Good to see you.
For sure. Over and out.